Can you be my mom for just one day? The rain hammered against the glass walls of Chen Industries headquarters like tiny fists demanding entry. Inside, Victoria Chen stood alone in her corner office on the 42nd floor, surrounded by everything success could buy, and nothing her heart truly needed. The cityscape below blurred through her tears as she clutched a small velvet box in her trembling hands. 10 years. It had been 10 years since the accident that took her daughter, Lily. 10 years since she'd heard those precious words, "I love you, Mommy." 10 years of building an empire to fill a void that only grew wider with each passing day. The office felt like a mausoleum tonight. Award plaques lined the walls, each one a hollow victory. Forbes had just named her one of the most influential CEOs under 40, but what did any of it matter when she went home to an empty penthouse every night? When the only voice that greeted her was Alexa's synthetic politeness. Victoria opened the velvet box with shaking fingers. Inside lay a delicate silver necklace with a butterfly pendant, Lily's favorite. She'd been wearing it the day of the accident. The day Victoria's entire world shattered into a million irreparable pieces. "Ms. Chen." Her assistant's voice crackled through the intercom. "The car is waiting to take you to the charity gala." Right. The gala. Another evening of fake smiles and emptier conversations. But the children's hospital fundraiser was important, critically important. If writing a check could spare even one parent the agony she endured, it was worth the performance. "I'll be down in 5 minutes, Victoria replied, carefully returning the necklace to her purse. She wiped her eyes, reapplied her lipstick, and transformed back into the ice queen the tabloids loved to write about. The gala was held at the Grand Meridian Hotel, a glittering affair where champagne flowed like water and designer gowns swept across marble floors. Victoria had perfected the art of being present while remaining completely absent. She nodded at the right moments, laughed at appropriate jokes, and signed checks with practiced ease. She was preparing to leave early, she always left early, when a small hand tugged at the hem of her burgundy evening gown. Victoria looked down to find a girl of about 7 years old, with enormous brown eyes and tangled dark hair barely contained by a faded ribbon. She wore a simple white dress that had clearly been scrubbed clean but was still visibly worn at the edges. In a room full of excess, this child stood out like a wildflower in a field of plastic roses. "Excuse me, ma'am," the girl whispered, her voice trembling with what looked like rehearsed courage. "I'm sorry to bother you, but, can you be my mom for just one day?" The words struck Victoria like lightning. The champagne glass nearly slipped from her fingers. "What did you say?" The girl's eyes filled with tears, but she stood her ground. "Just one day. That's all I'm asking for. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and I just want to know what it feels like. Just once." Victoria's heart thundered in her chest. Every instinct screamed at her to walk away, to protect herself from this unbearable pain. But something about this child, something in her eyes, held Victoria frozen in place. "Where's your mother, sweetheart?" Victoria managed to ask, her voice barely steady. "She died 2 years ago. Cancer." The girl said it matter-of-factly, the way children do when they've had to explain tragedy too many times. "I'm Emma. I live at St. Catherine's home now. They brought us here tonight for the fundraiser. Everyone's always telling us how lucky we are, but I don't feel lucky. I just feel alone." Victoria's vision blurred. She knew that. Loneliness. She lived it every single day. "Emma, Victoria began, but her words caught in her throat as her eyes fell on something that made the entire world stop spinning. Around Emma's neck hung a silver butterfly necklace. The same delicate wings, the same intricate design, identical to the one Victoria kept in her purse. Identical to the one Lily had worn. Victoria's hands trembled as she reached out. "Your necklace, where did you get that necklace?" Emma touched it protectively, as if worried Victoria might take it away. "A nice lady gave it to me at the hospital 2 years ago, right after my mom died. I was crying so hard, and she sat with me for hours. She told me that butterflies represent transformation and hope. That my mom wasn't really gone, she'd just transformed into something beautiful that would always watch over me. She put this around my neck and told me to never forget that I was loved." The room tilted. Victoria gripped the back of a chair to steady herself, her mind reeling. 2 years ago, she'd visited the children's cancer ward, the same ward where Lily had spent her final days. She'd gone anonymously, unable to bear the pitying looks of recognition. And there, she'd met a grieving girl who reminded her so much of her own daughter that she'd given away the one piece of Lily she'd been able to carry with her. She'd given Emma her daughter's necklace. And somehow, impossibly, this child had found her way back. Yes, Victoria whispered, tears streaming freely now, uncaring of her mascara or the curious glances from other guests. Yes, Emma, I will be your mom. Not just for one day. For every day you'll have me. Emma's face transformed with a joy so pure it could have lit the entire city. She threw her arms around Victoria's waist, and Victoria sank to her knees, holding this child, this miracle, as if she might disappear if she let go. Over the following weeks, Victoria learned that Emma loved strawberry pancakes for breakfast and was terrified of thunderstorms. That she dreamed of becoming a veterinarian and had a laugh that could melt the coldest heart. That she'd been passed over for adoption 3 times because families wanted younger children, babies they could mold from the beginning. The adoption process was complicated, but Victoria had resources and determination. More importantly, she had purpose again. Her penthouse transformed from a sterile showcase into a home, with Emma's drawings covering the refrigerator and toys scattered across the once pristine floors. On their first Mother's Day together, they visited Lily's grave. Victoria placed flowers at the headstone while Emma held her hand. "Do you think she'd be mad that you adopted me?" Emma asked quietly. Victoria looked down at this brave, beautiful child who'd had the courage to ask a stranger for love. "No, sweetheart, I think she sent you to me. My Lily loved butterflies too." Emma reached up and unclasped her necklace. "Then maybe we should leave this here for her. So she knows we're taking care of each other." Victoria's heart swelled with a bittersweet mixture of grief and gratitude. Together, they draped the butterfly necklace over Lily's headstone, where it caught the sunlight and seemed to flutter in the breeze. As they walked back to the car, Emma's small hand in hers, Victoria realized something profound. She hadn't stopped being Lily's mother, and Lily hadn't stopped being her daughter. Love didn't work that way. The heart didn't have a limited capacity, it expanded to hold every person it was meant to hold. Emma had asked for just one day. Instead, she'd given Victoria a reason to believe in tomorrows again. In a world that often felt cold and transactional, they'd reminded each other of a simple truth: sometimes the family we need finds us in the most unexpected ways, and healing begins the moment we're brave enough to ask for, and offer, love. That night, Victoria tucked Emma into bed in her new bedroom, painted the soft lavender Emma had chosen. As she kissed her forehead, Emma whispered, "Good night, Mom." And for the first time in 10 years, Victoria Chen's heart felt full.